KUSI Sports and the contingent of Paul, Rudy, and Joaquin Duncan to cover the Aztecs in the NC2A tournament in Wichita. Now, they've been working since early this morning, and they're still up right now. They say nothing good happens after midnight. Now, it's past midnight in Wichita, and Paul's about to prove that theory completely wrong. Paul, Rudy?
Well, I see a McDonald's is open. I'll tell you what, Rick, this trip has gone so smoothly from the start, from planes being on time, connections being made, access to the locker room. We got here, and the first thing we did is we strolled right into the Aztecs locker room and scored 3 one-on-ones. We had a live interview with Ted Leitner earlier today, and then during our 6 o'clock interview, who walked right into the live shot but head coach Brian Dutcher. So it's going to be hard to top what has happened so far, but I know one way that we can top it with a win tomorrow. This place will be hopping in just a few short hours. There are a couple teams that travel well. You might have heard of Michigan. They're here and walking around like they own the place. And there's also a team you might have heard of that's just down the road, Kansas, and they travel super well. So this place is going to be hopping and bopping. And when we come back for the morning show, we'll be back here in about 5 hours. And there's going to be a pep rally in about 1 o'clock local time. So we'll also have highlights from that. But we are in Wichita, and when in Wichita, you have to see what's going on. So rather than talk more basketball, I thought we'd take you around the town of Wichita, Kansas.
Welcome to Wichita.
Wichita is located in the south-central portion of the state and is home to the 44-foot statue known as the Keeper of the Plains.
Well, I know it's a sacred place for a lot of Native Americans here. Come up here, have powwows, barbecues. It's kind of a spiritual place for a lot of Native Americans, and tells about their heritage over here.
What's your heritage?
I'm a quarter Choctaw.
Dwight D. Eisenhower Airport is centrally located and boasts less than a 5-hour flight time to any domestic location in the United States. Back in the day, Howard Hughes, Charles Lindbergh, and Amelia Earhart all used to stop off in Wichita for refueling. Wichita Zoo is the 7th largest by acreage and boasts more than 2,500 animals. Tim Burton's 1996 classic Mars Attack was filmed in and around Wichita.
Why can't we all just get along?
Back in 1958, Dan and Frank Carney opened the first Pizza Hut in Wichita, the brothers settling on the name because the original building looked like a hut and only had room for 9 letters.
Hold the anchovies!
And speaking of food, White Castle hamburgers started in Wichita some 30 years before the Pizza Brothers. Wichita native Gage Brewer helped popularize the electric guitar, which made Wichita native Joe Walsh very happy.
I'm going to Wichita.
Jack White sang about Wichita, as did Glenn Campbell.
And the Wichita lineman.
You've probably heard about the state of California not wanting to do business with the state of Kansas. Cali viewing some of the laws on Kansas's books as discriminatory. Well, here's another law to protest. Did you know in the state of Kansas, it's illegal to serve cherry pie a la mode on Sundays?
All right, so if the Aztecs do as planned and make it through this round and the next, we're going to test that cherry pie law. We're going to have cherry pie with ice cream Sunday before we fly home to San Diego. Now, our fun begins again in just 5 short hours. We'll be all over the Good Morning San Diego as we bring you constant updates as the Aztecs get ready to tip off against the Houston Cougars in what will be a great NC2A tale. Along with sports photographer Joaquin Duncan, we're done for today. Back to you guys.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. 7:20, I believe, is your first hit, so go get some sleep and some McDonald's on the way. All right, well, meanwhile, according to the NC2A Tournament Challenge, 33% of people have picked the Aztecs to upset the Houston Cougars, which is just 5 percentage points better than the website 538, who give the Aztecs a 28% chance to beat the Cougars based upon their statistics. Both teams taking the mic on a Wednesday, complimenting each other's team. Here's the best of the press conferences.
I think that seeding stuff, you can put that in a bag and throw it in the ocean. I mean, what does that mean? You know, how do they know who the seeds are? If you look at the two teams, we are the 11th seed. You know, look at their players and look at ours. You know, we're 6 foot, 6 foot, 6 foot, 6'5".
That's why he's the wily old head coach. You know, we have length, but he has width. So we'll see where that meets, length versus width.
Meanwhile, ESPN college basketball analyst Joe Lunardi incorrectly predicted the Aztecs' destination. Unlike here, we did at KUSI. Now he has some more inaccurate facts.
Named 3 notable alumni from Damien High School in Laverne, California. How about Mark McGuire, Joe Lunardi, and San Diego State point guard Jeremy Hemsley, who now leads the Aztecs into the NCAA tournament. Houston's just too hot, though, and I think the Cougars advance.
Well, if Lunardi actually knew anything about San Diego State, he would know that Jeremy Hemsley comes off the bench and that Trey Kell is the reason they made it to the tournament and that the Aztecs will win. Meanwhile, 2 more playing games from Dayton, starting with 2 teams that should not be in the tournament, Arizona State and Syracuse. As you look at that down there, it's a high-scoring affair, 12,116, as the Sun Devils with a chance to tie the ball game with about 5 seconds left, but both shots go clang, and that poor kid is crying because he has to go home. I would be happy to leave Wichita. The Orange will officially take part in their 39th round of 64 with a 60-56 win. They'll face Detroit on a Friday. The other game, a lesson in I didn't know there was a school called that. Texas Southern and North Carolina Central. Tiger sophomore DeMontre Jefferson scoring a game-high 25 points. Texas Southern advances. They'll face Xavier in Nashville on Friday. On the girls' lacrosse pitch, Torrey Pines hosting San Marcos. Torrey Pines, Kelly McKinnon finishing with 2 goals on the night, while San Marcos sophomore doubles that up. She would end up scoring 4, but it's Lady Falcon Ariel Shirabani scoring a game-high 7, leading the Torrey Pines to the win. The final 12-9, Lady Falcons improved to 2-1 on the season. An all-East County matchup, Helix hosting Granite Hills. We'll pick this one up in the first half. Scotty's Sophia Jones assists Jetta Barkley with the goal. Helix down 5-2. Second half, it's the Eagles' Samantha Schaefer slipping by her defender and scoring on the bounce. Moments later, Granite Hills freshman McKenna Ruffino goes low for the goal, while the Eagles' Rebecca Hartman leads all scorers with 7 as Granite Hills wins big, the final 16-3. La Jolla traveling the 0.9 miles to the Bishop School for a boys volleyball matchup. Early in the first, it's Berkeley Mesfeld with one of his game-high 4 aces. The Knights' Casey Holden to Noah Lynn, who assists Leah Ram for the kill. Second set, La Jolla's Miles Matalong dropping the ace on the line. That's pretty nice. On match point, it's the Vikings and Grant Poland scoring on the roof. La Jolla wins in straight sets, the final 3-0. One more from the volleyball court. Canyon Crest Academy hosting Scripps Ranch. Canyon Crest Jr. Joseph Harrington leading. Let me try that again. Canyon Crest Jr. Joseph Harrington leading the way with 24 kills. And Scripps Ranch Cade Searles and Augustin Hong powering the Falcons to a 5-set win, the final 3-2.